here anymore. I've seen so many cops this week, by the way, planting drugs on suspects. Like 3.
You've seen 3 cops
on video planning.
Oh, on video. Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, what
and
is your
crack cocaine.
neighborhood?
Yeah.
I was like, you're just looking at, you're just rear windowing this shit.
Welcome to Atlanta with the players.
By the way, I would also say I am so happy that I do not live in an apartment with a balcony facing a lot of other balconies right now, because like people are sharing those. Like you've seen those videos where like everyone in Italy is like playing the anthem and all this shit. And I was like, no, leave me the fuck alone. Like my neighbor started learning piano this week.
Oh,
and I'm just like, really? You're going to start playing? Like, and look, if you're home and playing it because that's your, you know, and look, we all have ways we need to pass the time. It's a very stressful thing. I get it. But don't fucking learn an instrument when you know all of your neighbors are home. Like that's bullshit. Like I think forcing people to. I'm glad I'm a little isolated. I can hear a neighbor tinkling on a piano, and that's already enough for me.
I'm looking at it through that lens, but I'm seeing the logic in it now. Yeah, I see them playing tennis on the balcony, having a great time, wishing I was there, but 4 minutes of that is enough.
Yeah, you'd want to visit.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd want to visit.
You're
that
like,
apartment.
wouldn't that be fun for like a break? You know, and then the guy's just like, hey, I'm still bored here. My Wi-Fi's down. So can you want to come back out with the tennis ball? Oh, look, the ball fell. Neighbors. Someone go get it. You gonna go get it?
I have pretty good neighbors for that. One of the guys like clearly works nights or something, and so he sleeps all day, works all night. Never see him. I see his car come in. If I'm up at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m., I see him return home or something like that. And that's it. I don't know if he's black or white. No idea. Then there's some people.
So you don't even know if you like him.
I'm not sure. But his sleep schedule is mighty white, so I'm okay with it.
Jesus.
My neighbor, kind of back behind, they play basketball over there. And I can hear it occasionally. That's a little annoying. And there's some son of a bitch that lives like within 8 miles of me, I guess, and has the loudest fucking car known to man. I used to drive, I used to drag race a little bit in my car, just with straight headers. You know, it's just, there's no exhaust. It's about performance. And the thing is incredibly loud. That's what he's driving, I guess, in the neighborhood. Like I hear him start his vehicle, leave his yard, and I've timed it. I can hear him for almost 2.5 minutes from the time he leaves his home. That's got to be at least 1.5 miles that I can.
I mean, that guy is just driving his car to the drag racing track, trying to make a living.
I used to have a neighbor with
6 a.m.
with a motorcycle.
6 a.m. He goes to work in that shit.
A motorcycle that was loud, like you described.
Yeah,
and it would be a lot because he would warm it up outside, right? He'd like push it out of the garage or something, start it, and then I don't know. It took him a while to get dressed or something, and do that whole like 4 or 7 minute process. It's just bah, 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 super loud.
Wow.
I had a neighbor in New York.
I really hate that. That's another group of people. Line them up against the wall and shoot them. The people who think that loud exhaust is like flexing or something like that.
No one's impressed.
We don't need those people in the world with us. They gotta go.
I had a neighbor in New York where I swear, look, I understand that sometimes you have kids, you cannot control the fact that your kid is a screamer and like the kid's just shrieking. But like, I swear they must have tied this kid to the front door because it sounded like it was in my apartment. Like, and look, there's only, 4 feet between apartment doors or whatever in New York. But like this kid it sounded like this kid was right the fuck there. And I was like, where is this kid's bedroom? Is this kid's bedroom on your fucking coat hook? Like, where is this screaming kid right now? Yeah,
what you got to do, you get yourself a box of Ike and Mike's. You know those that you familiar with that candy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mix in a few NyQuil, roll them up under the doors.
I had there was once on the road where I get back from a late gig on a Saturday at like 2 a.m, and I get myself to sleep in the hotel, and it's one of those hotels that have like the adjoining room doors.
Yeah.
And in the room on the other side of me, 6 a.m. on a Sunday, there's a family with a clown car full of children just singing Jesus praise songs. 6 a.m. on a fucking Sunday with their pre-gaming for church. I don't know what the hell was going on. But they're so loud and so obnoxious. And also, there are fucking rules about how many people in a hotel room. Like if you have a clown car full of kids in your family, fucking buy a second room that adjoins yours so you don't bother other people, and be sensitive to the fact that it's 6 a.m. on a Sunday. Like there are people who want to sleep.
They need to take a page out of the football thing, right? Tailgate at the church. Show up at 6 a.m. Tailgate at the church. Get your hymn on.
Communion!
Whatever it is. And then everyone piles in there excited.
Big phone number one fingers, but they're like this.
Oh, Jesus.
Like
I love it.
If you so what I did though is I was so mad. I tried to sleep through it. I couldn't. I tried to call down to the desk and they did not care. And so I was like, fuck this. And I called up, I opened a porn on my laptop and put the computer on with full volume next to the adjoining door. And I was like, you want to say, oh God? Well, I'm gonna do the same shit. And they left. So it took about 10 minutes.
Is this story true?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
Why the fuck wouldn't you do that?
I've heard you tell that one before.
It is the natural response,
Yeah. Fuck those people. I hate inconsiderately loud people. I always try to be very quiet when I'm in public spaces, like sharing walls in a hotel room. The thing about those shared doors that you sometimes have in hotels, perfect opportunity for a glory hole. Why isn't this included?
Yeah.
It should be
double glory hole, so you both have to
you both have to open it.
Yeah. And
so if you open it and you stick your dick in, it just hits against the door.
Each door is 2 inches, right? And then there's a 4-inch space in the middle. It's 8 inches before you're out the other side.
Yeah, they've only got 4 more inches to work with.
I'm not sure I'm man enough.
No, they're going to need special doors.
I'm also sensitive. I've gotten to the point, I've stayed in enough hotels now that when I walk through a hotel hallway and it's past 10 o'clock at night, if I'm walking through and one of the other comics is talking to me, I'm like, hold on a second, man. Let's get in our damn room, because you don't want to be the person walking by somebody's door and you hear that whole
yeah.
Oh, so that's still really annoying.
Yeah, I really hate it. I've
Shared
stayed
space,
in a
man.
lot of hotels. That's why there was a point when I discovered VRBO that I just stopped using hotels entirely and started renting apartments and houses when we would travel. It was cheaper anyway because there'd usually be at least 3 of us.
But I got into Airbnb for a little while, and then there were so many that had so many problems that I just like a hotel better now. Because the amount of times, dude, I tried to stay in one where the guy's wife left him right before the stay. And so this was supposed to be their rental house, and now he was just living in one of the rooms. And he thought that would be okay. And it was one of those things. Yeah, it was one of those things where I did too, where he said, he was like, oh, I'm just going to take up one of the rooms. And he brought up the fact that his wife left him immediately. And I was like, oh, this must have happened yesterday, man.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first thing on his mind. And I was like, look, I feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, get out of my fucking room. Is
he's breached the contract. That's the number one thing that I'm looking for is not just my own room, my own house,
my own space.
I don't want to. I don't want to be staying in your what do they call it? Like a mother-in-law suite or something like that. Whatever, one of those additions outside. I don't want to be in the little shithole above your garage. No, you shouldn't be anywhere near me. I should you should be somewhere else. This is
anytime I had one in Montreal where it was some student that was managing it for whoever owned the apartment. And he was so excited that we were comedians, and he was just trying to hang out with us. And we had to be like, hey man, leave. You have to leave now.
Yeah. Chiz and I rented this place one time in, I think we were in Seattle. Yeah, I think we were in Seattle. And the guy was so proud of his place that he's like, I sat on the couch immediately. We were there to smoke dope. And I was getting ready to smoke some dope. And so he's taking Chiz on the grand tour of what is not a very fancy place. It's just a 2-bedroom house, somewhere in Seattle. I think that's where we were. And I'm just I sit down. Chiz looks back at me like, you're not coming? And I'm like, no, fuck you. You're on your own. And this guy's like, and this is what a bathroom looks like. You see, it has a sink and a mirror. right?
Flush
and if
toilets.
You follow me, I'll show you what a bed looks like.
Put the fucking keys in a Dropbox and leave me alone.
Yeah,
Like that's
he
all
he
I
was
want is to
next
find out what the code to the
door.
door is.
He was
Yeah.
next door, and he was like, and make sure you take your shoes off. This is antique pecan wood hardwood flooring or something like that. And I looked at it, and it's scraped all to fuck. Like it's ruined.
Yeah.
It needs going over,
Sanding,
resurfacing, and then recoating. And I'm just like, I'm not taking my fucking shoes off. I don't want splinters, dude. Like it's not happening. It's just not happening.
We had a woman once who, you know, like probably mid-50s divorcee who was like really excited that a couple of guys in their 30s were staying there. And so we were in like her like guest house, and she was in the other house, and she shows up. So, you know, we check in, it's fine. And then she shows up with like drinking a glass of wine, wearing like shorts and half a shirt, just being like, "You boys need anything else?" And we're like, "Absolutely not. We do not need anything else. Please, please do not sexually assault us, miss."
How to fuck that lady?
I'm sure you would. She's within your swiping range. But I think I draw the line. I think I draw the line at like it's